Hello and welcome back to another exciting episode of Learning and Fun with DataSpace Academy Presents Dialogue with the Gurus. With me today is Mr. Aji Isaac. He is the Chief Executive Officer of TechShoe. With him, I'm going to get into a conversation for the next 30 minutes on the future of digital marketing jobs in the age of artificial intelligence. Let me tell you before I get into this conversation with him that you can also rope into this discussion with your thoughts, your queries, and of course, your questions. All you have to do is to put them on the comment section below, and I will definitely pass them to Mr. Isaac. Hi, sir. Welcome to DataSpace Academy. Great to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Ankan, for inviting me.
Sir, as we were having this conversation a little while back about artificial intelligence and how artificial intelligence is going to dominate the future,
Mhm.
I just wanted to ask you, or probably start this conversation with that one fundamental question: that do you really believe that artificial intelligence is going to make people unemployed? Because there's a myth which we need to bust today.
Uh, See, unemployment is a relative term. So whenever the market changes, the older things gets replaced with newer things. So if you are a part of the newer things, then you will have a different advantage. But if you are a part of the older things, then probably you will not be required in the market. So if people still remain in the older market, then they will face the unemployment. But if they move on to the newer part, then they will not have there will be different challenges, but they will not be unemployed as such, but they will have a different role to play. So taking an example, like say whenever a smartphone came into the picture, we all shifted to smartphone rather than the featured phone, right? We had Nokia as our best friend. We will swear by Nokia. But when the
Yeah.
smartphone came in, nobody cared about Nokia. They shifted. So that's how customers are. So if customers are like that, if the market is going towards that era, you better be in that era rather than being in the older feature phone era kind of a thing.
All right, so that's really interesting that people need to upgrade themselves, and so is with the marketeers. That in future, unless and until they understand the future trends and the future mindset of the needs and demands of the market, they might feel themselves obsolete. So,
Yeah,
so
it's not upgrade, Ankan. Just to add to it, there are many technologies which comes where you need to upgrade yourself. Like for example, from Facebook normal advertisement to AI based advertisement, you could upgrade yourself because it was still in a certain area. So it's going from 8 to 9 or 8 to 10. So if you upgrade yourself, you'll be able to survive. Now this is a completely different paradigm altogether. So you
yeah,
will have to change your mindset. You have to rethink. You have to reskill. You have to completely be into a different environment than the previous environment to actually excel in that area. But if you say that I was doing X, can I do an incremental X plus, can I survive in this market? Maybe you'll have a difficulty. But if you look at the new market as a completely new market rather than thinking that I'll upgrade and survive, but look at the new market as a new opportunity altogether where everyone is just 2 years old. You have a big advantage because even the people like us who have been there for 20 years, we are still 2 years old in that market like you are. So in that way there
yeah.
is equal competition between you versus anybody else in the market. So that's the way you want to look at.
Awesome. So, sir, also if you can throw some light on what actually this, we talked about WhatsApp, we talked about, how people understood the utility of WhatsApp, and probably SMS became a little redundant. I won't say absolutely redundant because this is also one of the trends of digital marketing. But uh, what I'm talking about is the whole switch from, as you say, Nokia 3315 or 3310 or those kind of GSM phones to a smartphone. People understood the utility of WhatsApp and switched to a more comfortable, more communicating, user-friendly interface. Um, where actually did the journey of AI start, and actually when?
So let's take a step back and try and understand what are we talking about from an AI perspective. Okay, so and AI has been there for many years, but what has changed in the last 2 years 3 years kind of area is one is the generative AI became much more accessible to all of us. That means, previously it was accessible to corporates. They were doing their own, large language model or their own AI models and etc. But today, because of ChatGPT or any variations of that available, whether it is a Gemini or Claude, anything that is available, so all of those things are enabling the individuals to be much more empowered. So if I am a business owner and I didn't know what to do with digital marketing, and now I am empowered to take my own decision. If I didn't know how to create a campaign, but now I can use all this tool to empower myself and challenge a digital marketer who had knowledge, but they had to convert that knowledge to wisdom. Now here you have a business owner who understands business but does not understand digital marketing. Now when they combine the, when they take the knowledge from any of the generative AI model that is available, then they can also come to a particular power. So in the last few years, what has changed is this accessibility to more people, and plus this becoming, now previously it was text based, now image, video, anything that you can talk about, the multimodal kind of a environment where, like I take the picture of my um, food and just ask it that what am I eating, it will be able to tell me. So now in order to calculate my calories, I don't have to feed in and saying, okay, I'm eating this. I can just take the picture and it can give me an approximation of it and it can calculate. Now these are all new possibilities and accessible to anybody and everybody. Now that is creating a huge boom of AI tools. So at the center of it is these algorithms, but then somebody is coming up with small tweaking around it and creating something to create better advertisement. Somebody is coming up with better scripting. Somebody is coming up with better videos, and etc. etc. So that is major shift that has changed. So previously you were into a knowledge era, you were valued for knowledge, you were using that knowledge to convert to wisdom. So today that knowledge is almost made irrelevant, because now everybody has access to knowledge. You might have spent
Correct.
10 years to get that knowledge, and you can still access that knowledge in 5 minutes. But now the difference is the wisdom. How do you use the knowledge to convert to action? How do you use the knowledge to make better decisions? If you are experienced enough, then you will be better at decision making. Or even if you're a younger person, if you're able to make better decisions, the knowledge is accessible to you, which was only accessible to seniors. So it's a big paradigm change. That's what I will say is you need to look at the AI very differently, that you have shifted the world from knowledge era to a wisdom era because of the AI that we are looking at.
Understood, sir. Now, knowledge has become a little more accessible and democratic to people. But here, there is one thing that I wanted to talk about. That since we are an edtech company and we have a lot of students, and I have seen this as a personal experience in the past, where I have seen people getting too addicted, and people, as in I'm talking about the students, getting too addicted to OpenAI, and then they have all the assignments, all the certifications, all the answers coming from the generative AI, so they don't really worry about qualifying it with equal amount of effort and hardship. All they have to do is to sit either on an OpenAI platform like GPT or maybe let's say Gemini, and they pull out the answers and get the certifications done. As a consequence to that, what we generally see is when they go for interviews, uh, whenever they face the technical rounds, they fumble. They, in spite of showing the certifications on their resume, when they're asked questions on the basis of that, they fail to deliver. So, do you think that there is a problem because convenience is addictive at the end of the day? But where should we stop and pause and probably do some soul searching to find out that this is where we need to evaluate?
Right. Now there are two dimension to it. One is, is the person taking interview is upgraded enough or not. So you might be ahead of the curve, and that's why you're getting rejected. So that is one possibility, where the, like somebody is asking you to do a calculation of 33 into 33, and you don't know how to calculate, but if you're given a calculator, you'll be able to calculate, right? So are we going to live ever without a calculator? Do we really need to know how to do 33 into 33? So that is depending on the interviewer. So one is, if the interviewer is on a previous era, there is a possibility you are getting rejected because of that. The second is where you need to be careful as a student, is that you will have to learn the fundamentals, because everything changes but fundamental always remains. And also, as I said, your skills needs to be a little tweaked. So before getting into the skills, learn the skill of skills. And what are those skill of skills? Like how to be a problem solver, how to make a decision, how to do critical thinking, first principle thinking. All of those things are skill of skills. That means this is what will convert your knowledge to wisdom. So if somebody is throwing a question to you, and if that is a knowledge question and you don't know the knowledge, then of course you can survive in the long run, because as I said, knowledge is not more no more critical. But if I am interviewing anyone and if the person comes to me and says, can I use chat gpt to get an answer, I will certainly say that please go ahead and use the chat gpt to do an answer. Okay, so like when I have taken interviews in many colleges, what I've done is I wanted to look at how they will work in the real scenario. I don't want them to have the knowledge which is mugged up knowledge. I want to, like Einstein once said, you don't need to know everything. All that you need to know is when I need something, where I can find it. So if you know how to find it, you are a great person. Maybe your interviewer does not understand and value it. Look for another interviewer. That's what I will say. The knowledge is not the problem. But if somebody is throwing to you a problem statement and you are not able to convert that problem statement to a solution statement, then there is something, a lot of work needs to be done at your level, that how do I become a solution person, where chat gpt is, or any other tool, AI tool is available, is helping you in problem solving, helping you better in problem solving. So that's what one need to look at.
Okay. And also, sir, I think this will be another pertinent question from where you left, which is when we talk about metaverse, when we talk about other digital channels, what do we generally do is like we use AI to tell my backend that what demography should I talk to, what interest areas should I cater to, what is the behavior of my audience, what should be the education level, job roles, blah blah blah. But another critical concern is that, let's say, Google or Facebook will do their job on the basis of the targeting that we do, and ultimately it's the communication that will have to travel to the respective audiences. And if the communication itself is not exciting enough, then in spite of Facebook or Google giving me the right kind of targeting, I am probably ending up communicating nothing to my end audience because they don't click, they don't invest. So, do you think communication still has an upper hand? Understanding the finer sense of communication is still important to understand compared to just using an AI tool and reaching the right kind of audience.
Absolutely. Not only now, but it has been for last maybe 3 4 years, where reach is relatively sorted. Anybody can give you a reach, and relatively your reach will be 80 90 percentage right. But what matters is the combination of, again, when we are looking at reach. So normally when we work on digital marketing, so we divide our digital marketing into four major pillars. One pillar is your reach strategy, the second is your communication strategy, the third is your infrastructure strategy, because even if you have a great communication framework available with you, that what you want to communicate, you have really understood what needs to be communicated, but how do you communicate, how do you build your landing pages, how do you build your advertisement, all of those things will come into the infrastructure. And the last one is visibility of the KPIs, so that you know what to improve, where is the gap, instead of saying that, if a computer is not working, you're shaking the computer and saying that let the computer work. So instead of that, you're looking at each part of it and saying that how do I improve each part of it. So that's where the KPI is very very important. So all four elements are very important. Now if you look at a reach from an AI perspective, you're only thinking about reaching the right person, but reaching the right person at the right time, reaching the right person at the right time with the right cost, all of those things matter, right? And reaching them, even when you look at the communication is not only about saying the right thing but also having the right CTA. So if you are going and meeting somebody and saying marry me, the messaging might be right, the CTA is too big a CTA for somebody to start talking to you, rather than saying do you want to date me, and then go to the marriage in sequential interaction with that person. So understanding that whole customer journey. So that's what I said, fundamental is back in the business. Now techniques, tools related to reach or communication in itself is not going to work. You need to fall in love with customer. I've been preaching and teaching this for many years, that 50% of all marketing is how deep you understand customer journey. So that is the center of it. And if you understand, then communication at the right place, media at the right place, all of those things will matter. And AI will solve your problem of communication, will solve your problem of reach, provided you know how to train it right. If you take the wrong data and train it, again you are going wrong. Giving a small example, if
Yep.
you are generating leads and 80% of your leads are junk leads, and you are training the AI based on leads, then you are training the AI with 80% junk leads data. Then it will continue to generate more 80% junk leads. Okay, so that is how you need to know how to train the AI. Previously, you had to know how to do the targeting, but it's more than the targeting. Now you need to know how to train the AI with respect to getting better reach. If you know it, then you will get better outcome out of it.
Understood. And so, as you say that you also meet a lot of students and you have been to institutions for interviews. So, what do you actually find about? I mean, what are the I won't ask you about the quality, but I'm talking about how do you think that the students in today's times can develop themselves and use AI effectively to grow their future?
Right. See, depends on what do you mean by a student? Okay. So if we are recruiting a person who is a certain experienced person, then like we divide our hiring into three parts. One is absolute fresher, then you have some experience, and then you are hiring, then you have a mid-level, senior level kind of a people. So if you're looking at absolute fresher, we don't bother too much about the knowledge about how you are going to do keyword analysis or SEO and etc. We like to look at whether you have fundamentally broad understanding of what does an SEO mean, what does a keyword analysis mean, but you may not know the real practical knowledge about how to do it. But what we will certainly be looking at it as an individual. You have spent 24, 25 years in this world. How have you been in that 24 years? If you had been wrongly trained, it is very difficult for a company to come and correct it. So as a company, what we look at is, what is your mindset? Do you have a good intent towards working? Do you have a good intent toward problem solving? Do you have the right mindset towards, if something comes up, do you take up the ownership or do you do blame it on somebody else? So the most important thing in the fresher area is, the knowledge is like 30-40 percentage that you want to have, just exposure to the knowledge is good enough. But 70-80 percentage that we will be looking at is on the mindset of that individual. Like if you don't know something, how confident you are in saying that I don't know this, and you are comfortable with yourself. You are not feeling that, oh my god, what will the other individuals say? I may know 80 things, I may not know 20 things, I'm absolutely okay with that. But that confidence, that comfort with yourself, that I am doing my level best, if I don't know something, I'm still okay with that. So that comfort and the passion, like passion is a very different word altogether, but that self, individual person, how they have been in the last 25, 24 years of their life is what we try to get, rather than the skill in itself. So don't be ever stressed when you're going for an interview and saying that I have to mug up everything, I have to learn everything. Be absolutely comfortable. And if you have foundational mistake, like I got rejected in interviews, um, I think three or four times. It is a company called Aluminous. They rejected me, and it was a startup. And then I will say, give me one more chance, and then they will give me one more chance. Again, they will reject me. Okay, then I'll say, give me one more chance. I will go for the third time. So most probably they have hired me on the fourth time, and instead of spending I think 3 or 4 months in internship, I'd spend 9 months with that company for internship. And that's how, like, you have to be persistent and saying that, okay, if I am rejected, what did I miss? Because they were asking extremely tough questions, so I'll prepare for the next interview and be ready for it and go for it. But then what they will do is they will change the interviewer altogether. If somebody is asking about data structure, next time somebody is asking about operating system. So whatever you prepare, you will miss out on this. But because of the probably the persistence, and I got lucky on the fourth where whatever subject they were asking, I had some answer to it. We got so what we are looking at is, or anybody is looking at, is not the skilled person, but somebody who really want to succeed in their life and be passionate, I mean really want to work hard and get to that particular level, then everything else will follow and help you to reach there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I mean, I'm actually digressing a little bit from our topic, and I have one question out here which I put on the screen, which is from Facebook. That um, it's about the ethical concerns associated with artificial intelligence, and I mean, I'm sure that probably she's talking about privacy issues and misuses of AI technology and stuff like that. So, do you really think that these can be controlled in the near future with the advancement of technology?
I mean, it's a very big topic, and anything on a technology side when it comes, it impacts all of us big time. Like if internet is there for so many years, isn't internet an issue with ethics? Like everyone is roaming around with a camera, they can take your picture, upload it to internet, and the world can see it. So the privacy had been into the concern area for many years. Even if you look at the Apple's latest positioning, is all about privacy because people have realized that privacy is a big concern. But both in terms of ethical privacy level, so this is something where all the parties are coming together and working very hard to make sure that the best of the technology is being used and the worst of the technology is balanced. It can never happen that you have a very strong weapon which is, you know, doing good, so it can't be used for bad. So of course there will be some negatives out of it, so that negatives will also have to be taken into account in some way or the other. And it's a, it's a lot of people are working towards it, and they will take care of it and etc. If you ever want to enter into that particular area, then that area is a completely different space altogether, multiple players included into it. And again, the biggest challenge with technology is, all the laws are governed by a country, right? We don't have a global law. We have a very weak global law. We have a very strong national law. So if I as a country is doing something which is very ethical, which is everything right, and then what happens is some other countries are taking unethical way and creating a problem out of it. So that's what everyone is working together and saying that what are the guardrails that we want to put in for an AI and etc. So yeah, that's something that people will take care of it, but nothing comes without a negative aspect of it. So I will suggest all the students that what you do is you focus on the positive side of it and let the right people also worry about the ethical part of it and etc. And they will certainly come up with some solutions around those areas, but it's never foolproof for sure. Even internet today is used for making bombs and hiring terrorists and etc. That does not mean internet in itself is bad altogether. So that's the reality of life.
All right. Thank you. Awesome. I'll take up another question before I head into my question. So this question is on YouTube by Abhishek, which is how can marketers build and maintain consumer trust in the world where AI is increasingly used to influence decision making?
Uh, like the consumer trust, if you want to look into that, is, like how do you define that consumer trust? Like whenever we as marketeers, we had always been associating marketing with promotion, that we are promoting and we
Yes.
are we are doing this. But when the promotions and etc becomes much easier, much accessible, much easy to get through, then probably the more focus has to be done on how to make the right product, how to make the right pricing, how to make sure that my customer is getting what am I promising in my advertisement and etc. So the
Yes.
trust is very easy to come by today because the brand for the first time in history has a number associated with that. Like if I go to Zomato, if I go to IMDb, if I go to any of these rating companies, I can see that this brand is a trusted brand or not, this hotel is a trusted hotel or not, by just looking at the reviews and ratings and etc. Because now that is getting reflected, because people have the power to come and review you and etc. So even if you do
Yes.
best of the best advertisement in the world, but if your product and the service is not good, that's when you lose the customer trust. And what you certainly need to do is you need to protect uh, your customers from any kind of a fraud that is happening, any kind of an AI that is happening. In case if that is a like a problem that you are facing, like today a lot of companies are facing, like including our company, a lot of companies are facing a lot of negativity with fake job offers. Okay, so Infosys is taking some action on it, TCS is taking some action on it, and etc. So this is something related to technology, and then when the problem arises, then they will take an action around it. Around AI, is there any kind of a concern that we are saying with respect to consumer and consumer trust with the business side? At this moment, I don't think that's too much available on that space. But yeah, tomorrow there will be some advertisement that will come up with my photo into it and saying that Aji is saying this or doing this. This is happening with celebrities and other people, but it's not happening with the brand as much as it is happening with anybody else. And even if that happens, then again, as a brand, I have limited thing to do, but I will have the centralized system should give me some space to say that what is genuine and what is not genuine, if that's what. And decision making, see, influence decision making is again a factor that previously the decision making would have been a lot dependent on the customer. But it, we have, what we have seen is after the birth of Google, a lot of decision making has shifted from brand recall based decision making to research based decision making, based on what the salesperson was saying, to a research based decision making. Now with AI into the picture, that research based will become even more easier, even more accessible. So instead of, if my data is available to the AI system, there is also a possibility that customer gets out of the customer journey altogether, and my data makes the decision for me. And all I have to say is I'm planning to buy a fan. Let me know what fan I should be buying, and the AI system probably can suggest it to me, that these are the best fan that is available. That means you need to be in that ecosystem to help your customer get that data from your brand, that it becomes a part of their decision making altogether. So that's a you know relatively long answer to the short
No, I
question.
think that's actually very interesting because, and I also have a feeling that you know the consumers will at least give one opportunity for every brand. I mean, if I talk about the reviews and the ratings, I mean, if I talk about Amazon, so most of the times we get to see that the influencers are actually putting up a video and that is talking about how fancy or great this product is. And, that's our human nature that in spite of we having 10 positive reviews, we actually look for that one negative review, which will
Yeah,
sort of impact our decision makings. And
absolutely.
even if we find like 5 to 6 positive reviews and those are paid reviews in some way or the other, and we consume the product and we decide that probably this is not up to the mark which it was promising earlier, so then probably we will not invest in the brand anymore. So it's like one opportunity which a consumer gives to every brand.
Yeah, Ankan, that's what it's nothing new. I have been advocating the same thing, that branding, promotion, everything should start with your operation. Your operation team should tell you that what is the right positioning that we should have, because the character of the brand is your operation. The personality of your brand is what your branding team, marketing, promotion team is putting into the public. But if your character is not strong and you have a different personality,
Yes.
it will come out sooner or later that what you are in the public is not what you are in reality. So as
Yeah.
marketeers, we need to go back to the operation team and work with them and saying that if we are not best in our operations, improve it, improve it, improve it, because we can't hide it in the world which is available in front of us. So that's what each marketeer needs to know, that I cannot be away from the operation, I have to be a part of the operation.
Correct. So I have another question coming up from YouTube, but I'll take it a little later. But I just want to put up my personal question here, which is, I mean, we are almost at the back end of the end of life. So just wanted to know about what are your advices to the students who are watching this particular live about the insecurity that they might have about losing their job, or maybe finding it will be a difficult task because AI will be controlling the future. AI will be controlling my key responsibility areas or my fortes. What will be your advice to these students?
Yeah. So one is you losing the job, or you having a trouble in your life. It's okay to worry about it, because that will keep you prepared for life. Say like we run business, even when we are doing good, we always are worried about what will disrupt us, how will the world change, and etc. So that worry is what keeps you alive all the time. So worry is never a
Yeah,
problem,
exactly.
but worry is not an action. There is a statement in Bible saying that by worrying you can't increase the inch, you can't increase or decrease the height of anything or depth of anything, kind of a thing. So that is, worry in itself is not a solution. Worry is a part of keeping us alive, but what you need to do is, with that worry, if you are not able to understand how to take it forward, so please find some friends, please find some people in the industry who can actually help you and guide you that what you should be doing. Listen to them. And the most beauty about it is today that you have a lot of knowledge accessible on YouTube. So if you do
Yes,
the search, you will find a lot of answer to it. So most of the answers are already given. It's only about you asking the question. That's why I keep saying that even if you go to God and pray, God will not listen and just send you a YouTube link and saying that it's already there. Why didn't you search before asking me that? So because most of the answers are already available to you. So what you need to do is keep on checking with YouTube, get yourself comfortable with that subject and etc. And also seek help if you need that. I am struggling with this. What should I do? There will be people who will be ready to answer your queries and etc. But if you stay with your problem and not take an action, then problem will become reality today or tomorrow, and then you will suffer. And what I will also suggest is that the mindset of when the teacher enters your class, I will learn, that has to go away.
that is
Because
true.
I have
Big time.
I
Yes.
have taught at many B schools, relatively very large top level B schools. I keep telling them and their professors that if you have not enabled your students to at least do one course by themselves, then we have
Yes.
failed the education altogether, because the world keeps changing. Whatever you are learning today gets irrelevant very soon. That does not mean that you will wait for the next teachers to come in, but you have to be learn how to learn new subjects. So these are all, as I said, skill of skills will continue to help you there. So one is, I mean, even if you have a fear, but don't, I mean, remember that fear will not help you. Fear should only keep you alive. But what you need to do is take these kind of actions and continue to learn from there and stay ahead. And even if you have a concern, uh, do small activities. Like if even if you lose a job, get into another job which is doing a small part of it, but work really hard. We had amazing people in our team who had started at a very data entry level and have gone and become the department head, and not because we have done anything great for them, but when we saw that these people are great at doing the job, we kept on giving them new opportunity and they kept on growing. There was a maybe 10-20 support from the company, but 80-90 percentage was their eagerness and their growth. So it does not matter where you enter. What matters is how fast you can grow by keeping that right attitude and right way and continue to grow. But if you have a wrong attitude, no matter which company you are, today or tomorrow, it's just a matter of when you will hit the bad day. It can be today or tomorrow, kind of a thing.
Yeah, awesome. That was an awesome answer. Before I pull up this question, just have one last question from my end. Any suggestion, any book suggestion that you want to give it to our viewers?
Any
I mean,
book
that's like
suggestion?
book suggestion. That's like if I ask you top four books that you would, recommend to our viewers.
Okay. So I have a big list of books that I have compiled. I can certainly share. But otherwise, if you want to read, I can share. Just go to techshoe.com/read. Techshoe.com/read read. You will find a lot of links there which you can actually go through, read about it under business, under areas. So there are many playlists for SEO, PPC, social media, etc. So you will get a lot of interesting things. And when it comes to books, what are the type of books? And especially I'm recommending from a student perspective. If students have to read, I will say that you read a mix of books. And I have a philosophy that I don't read books of any person who has not been who either the book has to be a researched book or the book has to be a doer, by a doer.
Okay.
If
Got it.
a author is there who has done a best-selling book but they are not doers, then I will just read the summary to get a gist of it, but I will not take them very seriously. But if there is a doer, and there are some amazing people who do great work in Google Analytics, but when they post, they get only 10 likes or 15 likes. But their depth in their subject, I will be ready to buy their book for a 15,000, 2,000 rupees, because I know that they carry the depth because they are doers. So I read
Yes.
those kind of books, and wherever you find doers related things, then you go ahead and buy those books. And I'm a big book reader from many many years, so I have a big
I
list. I
know
can
that.
share it, and depending on what area you are interested in. So starting from the business area, see which are the books which are going to help you at a business area, that what fundamentals that you need to do. Then you have a marketing level or sales level. So for each of this, you have different set of books that I can recommend. And then in order to do the skill related things, which is digital marketing skill, I will certainly say that then use the YouTube channels and etc. And I have a recommendation that please don't read and learn any subject. Okay, just see 10 videos in any subject that you want to read, or any subject that you want to expertise, but don't learn anything. Just see 10 videos casually, and then build comfort with that subject. And once you build the comfort, by then you will understand how to learn, what to learn in that particular subject. But don't learn from the starting. First make yourself comfortable with that subject, because most of these subjects are connected subject. Unless you learn
Yes.
chapter 2, chapter 1 does not make sense for you. And that's a kind of a connected learning. So that's why initial expose, and then start learning into it. So for students, I will certainly say that read some of the mindset related books. That one book certainly is the Seven Habits by Stephen Covey, so that you have your mindset saying that I don't want to blame others and etc. All of this maturity curve. So this is one of the best books that is written on maturity, that how to behave like a mature person, kind of a thing. The second, I will certainly say that go to World Economic Forum and search for 21st century skills. There is a list of skills which is available to you. So try and look at all the skills that are there and see whether you can get any of the skills made available for you. I mean, whether the skills you can learn, and for each of the skills, just learn. And the trick of that is go to YouTube, whatever subject you want to learn, type the subject beginner's guide. Okay, and then go to the filter and say more than 4 to 20 minutes or 20 plus minutes, and then you will find the good videos. And if you want the latest videos, then select last 1 year kind of a period, and then you will see amazing videos coming up which are long enough for you to get trained in that particular subject. You can try for any damn subject in the world, you will generally get some videos. And if you're comfortable in Hindi, just put in Hindi. If you're comfortable in Bengali, just say in Bengali, and you will get all the videos that are available in the world for you to get exposed and get comfortable with that subject. And books wise,
Awesome.
I can send you the list, and you can go through all the books in all the topics that we are talking about.
Awesome. I mean, that's a pretty wholesome answer. And before I end this conversation with you, just one last question. I'm putting it up on the screen. This is a question that has been asked on YouTube by Mitra. Can you explain a scenario where AI significantly improved a marketing campaign's return of investment and customer segmentation?
Okay, so let's right now AI is into multiple areas. Okay, so if you see today, most of the advertisement that you do, advertisement will be done purely on the basis of performance max, power 5, because all of those things are AI based. So many
Yes.
smaller companies can also just put it across and upload their customer and saying these are my best customers, go and find similar customers which are like look-alike. Automatically
Correct.
Facebook or Google can optimize it, and it can give you a better outcome out of it. So that's from a AI on the media part of it. But on the communication part of it, when you have a huge data available with you and saying these are all advertisement that I'm trying to do, so where am I getting the best outcome of it? So you can download all the advertisement that is available to you and ask that which advertisement is giving me a better ROI. So that will give you a lot of hints that is saying that whenever you are using words like this, you are getting better CTR. Whenever you're using words like this, you are getting better conversion rate, and etc. etc. In that way, you can tweak your communication associated with that.
Yes.
And even when it comes to the segmentation part of it, uh, previously the analysis was a very difficult thing to do, but today analysis is much easier to do. So uh, the segmentation that you want to create can be done completely based on just uploading 20-30 files from 20-30 different areas, and then try to understand and saying that this is how each of the file is connected between each, and then tell me which audience is giving me the maximum ROI from LTV perspective, or which audience is giving me the best conversion rate, etc. Then it can create a very good customer audience for you or customer segment for you, and that is how you can look at segmentation. And the fundamentals have not changed, it's only the way of working has changed. So previously you
Yes.
needed a whole team to do the analysis out of it. Today you don't need the whole team to do the analysis. The easy analysis using normal language has made life easier. And without, AI can make it exceptionally effective if you know how to use it
Use it.
into your communication and etc. So even like there will be people who are very good in media, but they're not very good in communication. When I say communication, marketing communication. But because of AI being available, or search being available, they can look for, give me the 4 campaigns in this particular category which has worked really good. So look at those particular campaigns, you will get inspired out of it. And also there are tons of data available from ad library. All your competitors ads are available to you. You can download, or you can scrape all of this content, and then you can also say that which are the communication which is running for longer period of time, and based on this analysis what you think is working in our industry, and you will get a lot of idea about that particular area. Okay.
Awesome. And I'm sorry that I have to end this conversation here. And, a lot of comments coming in. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And very interesting session. But unfortunately, I have to put it to an end. And thank you, sir. This is my personal, feeling from my end, because I think the conversation, uh, I have a lot of questions in my mind which I couldn't ask you, and I believe that we will in future may have a session two of these kind of conversations, and we will take these questions forward from there. And for all the viewers, yes, we are DataSpace Academy, a premium edtech organization who teaches students and professionals on digital marketing, cybersecurity, data science, data analytics, AWS, and many more. All you have to do to know about us is to visit www.dataspaceacademy.com, and there's a number on the strip below, on the motion strip below. You can call us directly, and you can speak to our counselors about the programs we offer. We will be back again with another exciting episode of Dialogue with the Gurus on the very next month. And in the meantime, stay tuned to us, keep talking to us, and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you.